How do you feel about SaaS products? So we know the SaaS industry, software as a service, is this huge industry, and everybody's providing a service, and everybody has subscription, and it's the most annoying thing in the whole world. So how do you feel about um, AI coming into play for like the small businesses and essentially making it easier to remove all these reliances on these giant other applications? How do you feel about that?
What's an example of one of these
Adobe
services? Adobe. So like
creation
it can
tools.
be online portals, or it can be a software that you download, or
Well, Google
like a
Workspace
Google
to
Doc. I was gonna say Google Docs and things.
because it's not just Google Docs, it's Google everything, slides, sheets, note, blah blah blah. Google Workspace has like who knows how many different products.
So we're talking about how can you use AI to eliminate having to pay for all these services, basically.
Potentially, or
Yeah.
just throwing out the ideas whether or not they are, or if it
So a good example is what we're using right now for our podcast. We're using some open source uh,
video capture.
video capture, and so we can bypass paying for a service,
Yeah, and we're
right?
feeding that into our own custom AI generated platform that allows
Hmm.
us to have like a teleprompter and like collaboration. We're all on
Yeah,
the same page because we're all remote. We're not in the same studio as much as that would be nice.
and this deletes a lot of the extra features that we just don't want, and we can tune it to be lean to our very specific needs, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So AI, with the advancements of AI, it has taken like prototyping software. So if a mid-sized company wanted to make their own software in the past, it would take weeks to months to develop
Yeah.
something when they could just pay, the $300 a month for the service and have like their 10 employees on it within a day, right? But with
Mhm.
AI, the idea is that it will be turning those weeks or months into just hours of, hey, you know whatever AI that you use, make me a software that does this, this, and this, takes care of all my business needs, and and then it turns around and says, "Well, you will also want this, this, and this," and you're like, "Yeah, oh, I would want that."
Yeah. So, like in my case, I've used AI chatbots to build little widgets here and there. Build me a basic Python script or a basic website, or a little widget. And with chatbots like ChatGPT or Gemini, and recently I've got into the CLI, the command line interface control, where the I guess chatbot controls your whole machine.
Yep.
I'm using Codex CLI, and this turns it in from copying pasting from a chatbot to just telling your terminal what to do, and it can build be a full stack developer to build an entire service. And I've found that it's a lot easier to use that than iterating with a online chatbot, because it covers all of the little things. It runs over, and it tests itself. You don't have to run your script and see if it works and then copy paste back and forth. So
Yeah.
the point being is, as this progresses, it's getting easier for someone like me who has a basic understanding of coding, but wants to, say, "Oh, build me an app you know, like Word, or Excel. Just build me my own." And I don't
Yep.
really need to have a very detailed understanding. It's more, as long as I give it a high level command, the infrastructure is getting better to give me the A to Z result, from what I've seen anyway.
Yeah. So if it's so easy for AI to iterate and create these smaller services, does that break the software as a service subscription model. And
Mm.
I am going to say no. Prove me wrong.
So
Prove you wrong. I,
Tell
yeah,
I would
me
I would
why.
agree that it's not the industry isn't going anywhere, right? I will say it will be affected because people will have the ability now to quickly create something to meet their needs instead of, hey, I need a product that does everything. And if it's more, it's like internal tooling, basically. Companies are able to make their internal tools for their workflows uh, easier. I know of a company that I've been working with and advising um, as they have gone on this crazy vibe coding journey. They've they've learned lots of things to do and lots of things not to do. Are they trying to build like a software that is used by subscribers that are paying? No, they're trying to make something a little bit different. It will have people that use the application, and it's caused the owner of the business to sit back and say, wow, this is really hard. Because they have to generate a list of requirements of what they want. And so, at first you tell them, yeah, anything you can think of, just write it down. Get all the possible features you want for this application down. And
Yeah.
then ask yourself, how much money do you want to spend? Because each feature is going to cost more and more money. And then it's more upkeep and um, troubleshooting and debugging that you potentially have to do in the long run. So uh, they originally had no idea how computers create applications, how databases work, or any of these topics. And so after helping them and not doing it for them, like helping them help themselves, they've been able to build something they're really proud of. They came over and they were showing it to me, and they were, smiling ear to ear.
So this business owner built something with AI
Mhm.
and it's specific to their business and they didn't need to go rent software from somebody else.
That's correct. And part of the problem is in the current industry they're in, there is no software that is good or decent.
mhm.
And their software is turning out to be a thing that is setting their business apart from others. So it's giving them a competitive advantage over other uh, businesses of the same kind.
So wait, I mean, I was saying that software as a service is not going to be as affected by AI as much as some people think, but yet we're saying that it is being affected,
Yeah.
like your friend. So what is it?
What is what?
Well, the advantages of software as a service, even with AI, even with small, medium, or even large businesses using AI
So
to build tools. What's the benefit of software as a
if
service?
if AI gets better, which is getting better, I believe that agents, which I think are sort of overhyped right now, I think those will get good.
Oh,
So
good for you.
it may come to that you talk to one of these software as a service companies and say, I need an application to do these various different things. And then you would prompt your requirements into their system, and then it would build you an agent to build you a customized version of their software for you. So it does what the small business is doing, but on a high level, sort of ironed out professional way that would be superior to starting from scratch.
I also think what it does is you may have the software in your industry out there and you want to use it. But the thing is, for especially smaller businesses, when you have to, when you're trying to start and grow your business, it requires money. And
Mhm.
so any bit of money that a business will save, they would rather probably pay $200 for top tier ChatGPT versus paying some development studio like $50,000, because it's not cheap to, and that's on the low end, to
Yeah.
develop an
Right.
application for their industry.
So do you think it could have to do with sort of laziness and unaware and not adopting the new technology that could leave all these gaps to letting these software service companies sell something when they could otherwise, figure out a way to build it, especially if AI is getting better? It's sort of they are sort of scared, oh, I'm not sure if I'll do it right. And so they hire a professional.
Yeah, it's a valid concern, especially depending on the kind of tooling that you want to build, right? If you're
Mhm.
building something for hundreds of thousands of people, are you gonna just assume the
Yes.
agents are
So
gonna get it right? They've done the scaling, they've made sure
yes.
your database can scale up and down properly, etc.
So the key to all this is the architect
Mhm.
producing the requirements, right? So
Yes.
um, that's something that even if AI gets very good, you're still going to need someone to articulate what you need built. And if
100%.
even if that's the business owner explaining to the architect what they need, the architect can then go in and provide the prompt structure and run the agents to build these different apps. So you still sort of have a middleman, and that doesn't mean that people can't develop the skill to do, really deep things. But
So there's
there's
one
there's still a middleman
there's one
somewhere in
major
there.
thing that you guys aren't thinking of.
All
Mhm.
right.
Right now we're talking about AI building an app, right? That will then benefit the business in some form or fashion, right?
Yeah,
But
internal tooling.
right. So small business owner, they're not necessarily focused on tech. They're focused on everything, sales, marketing, development, big picture
Yep.
stuff, right?
Yep.
Right.
So if they, let's say they pay their $200, they get the AI, they build this like whiz bang app. Where are they going to host it?
Mhm.
Who's going to update it when
You can't
who who's
automate.
who's going to provide the security? If I go and build an app through AI and then I like host it online, somebody hacks me, you know, I don't like, now you're talking, you're trusting AI
So
with
you
security.
can't automate hardware. So
Exactly.
your hosting, you'll need a spot for that. But
Yeah.
So
security is a sort of a domain knowledge. So you could say AI build me security, but if it spits out a result, how are you going to know that you're
right.
secure?
So my point being, uh software as a service company, they get hacked okay, so first of all, they're going to host their application on their own servers, so you don't, as a business owner, you don't have to worry about like hosting your own server or configuring a server, right?
Mhm.
They will maintain higher security standards, you would think. So if you do get hacked, you'd be like, hey, you know we got hacked and it's your fault. It's not the business owner's fault anymore. They're pushing that risk
Yep.
to somebody else.
Mhm.
So
Maintenance, all of that
I
kind of
think
stuff.
we're talking about two different kinds of tool sets, right?
Well,
I'm
there's the
talking,
building the tool, but then there's also maintaining the tool after
well,
that.
yeah, I'm talking about like a tool that you would build internally that wouldn't be exposed to an internet
Sure,
service.
but any tool you build these days is going to be online, even if it is internal.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, but
Well,
it's
secured in a
You
drive and
can
everything.
have it online, but you can have it within an intranet and not on the internet.
true.
So it would
Right.
Okay,
be
well, how about
secure that
this
way.
though? I know we've been talking about small businesses, but let's say you have ten employees, right? And you go out on the market and you say, "Hey, who knows Google Workspace? Do you know Google Workspace? Yeah, I worked with it on this company and this company and this company, right?
Mhm.
No, they come to your company and you say, "Hey, we built this internal tool. You're going to have to learn how to use it. Let's go through like a couple of weeks of training to teach you how to use this customized tool that you've never heard of before."
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So not only are you spending time securing it, maintaining it, you're spending more time on training employees on how to use it. Is it even like user friendly? A SaaS company
Mhm.
will have thousands of people who've already iterated over it. Um, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I see what you're saying.
And
yeah.
the the last point I'll say is that the SaaS companies' software mostly is predictable. I say that though
Well,
because
it has a reputation from
yes,
users and reviews and stuff. So I was trying to say something we're sort. I don't know if we're missing it, but I was going to say a new company with no money, like a two-person startup, they're going to find, not in all cases, but in a lot of cases, if you don't have any money, you're going to try to build all these tools yourself, even if they're not that great.
true.
Mhm.
And you're going to use AI as a force multiplier to grow as much as you can without paying a dime.
Yep.
Now the question is once you start producing and getting customers and getting money and everything, at what point do you say, hey, my janky little tools can be upgraded to professional grade paid services where I'm willing to spend my money on? And then you evolve past that to where your business is established and running really well, like a large company. You may compartmentalize and start looking for efficiencies to cut off little things here and there to save you money.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? There's just a lot of
Yeah,
factors in that.
I think it depends on where you are in your journey on your business,
Right.
right?
And what your
Because
specialties are. Because I don't
yeah,
think
Yeah.
there's any
Hmm.
one business owner that's special at everything.
No.
no, no, they usually have a skill set and they're better at that one skill set compared to the other thing. Like you can have a business owner who is trying to run a business and they're good at the idea, but they're terrible at running a business,
Hmm.
right? And so there's just different parts in the journey. And I would say for starting and building something to build upon, um, these agents and tools give people a leg up because now they can quickly create something that, for the most part, is usable. They're not worried about training people on it because it's
True.
going to be them using it. They're not worried about how efficient it is because it's going to be getting the job done. And that's all they care about in the beginning. It isn't till way down the road when you're like a medium sized company and you start worrying about, well, is this an efficient process? Is this the best way to do this?
Right.
Right.
And then
After
you
you're
start,
proven and you're making money, and
yeah.
it's just a matter of efficiency, right?
So AI gives people the ability to prove out an idea quickly.
Hmm.
Can you do this?
Well,
And if
and
so,
who's to say though that like the AI of today gets them started to proving that idea, but then in a year or two from now, AI will be good enough to be more efficient at those processes. You know what I
You
mean?
I mean,
know,
yeah,
I wonder. So there's a common thing with big companies. They're sort of making they have a forward thinking vision of what they're predicting AI to be. And so like the business and sales people are, they say AI can do everything with an agent. They'll just sell it that way. So like you're saying AI advancing, do
oh
you
no, dude,
plan do
it
you
looks like
plan
you were
for
boring the Phil. He was yawning at you.
oh man.
I'm not getting enough sleep, Orson.
Oh man.
Sorry to cut you off.
So I guess I'll just say, is AI, are people making decisions today based on them assuming AI will be better tomorrow?
Oh, that's a good thought.
Ooh.
Because
So it's
right
like
now you
AI
do need
investments
the
that way.
architect.
There's they're saying AI is a bubble, and they're saying that may be true, but you still invest today because that's still the future anyways.
Well,
Well,
how
so
is that?
You
How,
you can't afford not to invest even if it's a bubble.
how is that any different than computer program? No, video game programmers programming
Mhm.
their game, hoping that computers will be well enough to run it when it comes out in 5 years.
that's a
Yeah.
terrible way to develop a video game.
Well,
Stop it.
there's a lot of games that are like that. They
Stop
come
it.
out and they run
That
like garbage.
Star Citizen, you've
We're
heard of
not
that,
talking about that $100 million game that's gone nowhere. Well,
Well,
it's
I mean,
made a ton of
Crisis was like that, right? But maybe
yeah.
there's obviously a lot of internal things that the public aren't aware of, like producers or publishers like trying to shove a game out. But anyways,
Mhm.
like the idea of I would say no. I don't think the majority of people are developing with the intent of AI getting better.
Well, they're investing that way
I
for
mean,
sure.
Yeah, but investing and building are two different.
yeah.
Well, they're investing in what they predict it can do. Forward thinking.
Well, I mean, is it forward thinking to put all your cards into one basket? I don't really think that's very
No,
forward
but
mindset.
it's not. But it's sort of like whoever wins the AI race is going to be ahead of a lot of other. They're just going to eliminate other companies. And so
Yeah.
if you don't jump on that bandwagon, you'll just eliminate yourself because you sat on the sidelines.
I just realized my idiom was terrible. You don't put cards in a basket, it's eggs.
So
back to
I had
back
a
to the
thought.
sleep. One of us can take a nap.
I
It's
so I
like
had a
dark your
thought though.
screen, take a nap.
So I was doing a little bit of research before the podcast, research, and an idea came across that said that if a software as a service company were to integrate AI in their product,
Mhm.
that software as a service will come packaged. If it comes packaged with its own forward thinking AI, it will tell us what decisions to make rather than providing like
Data.
dashboards and yeah,
Yeah.
data. Exactly.
You just give it a big all your data and say make decisions on my data. Like all your
Correct.
customer data and all your bills and say, "Oh, tell me how to run things efficiently," and all that. So,
That's the I feel is the future of software as a service. We provide
right.
you this. We'll host it for you. We'll maintain it for you. We'll make sure it's nice and secure. And hey, it comes with an AI that will guide you through what to do. Like,
So this is a very interesting thing. So why not just get a customizable chatbot that can do everything for you rather
it
than make
doesn't
all these little
exist.
services? Yeah, but as it gets better, you'll just feed it all your company's data and say produce these things, and it will spit it all out. It'll work like a giant brain to make all your decisions.
No. Wait. In the last podcast, I said that we would generate like 1,000 avatars and run sales data through it and see what they liked. And you guys were like, well, yesterday's data doesn't make future predictions.
All right.
I mean, isn't that the same kind of thing, right? Like,
Well, it can give you data to let you make decisions.
it could
But
make
it goes back to the
recommendations.
point, like you just said, past data doesn't make like a
Right.
stock investor could get all this data, but they still need to make the decision on the data,
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. Now that
like
I
any
look at
company would.
that statement a little more, I might disagree with myself, um, because past data does influence future.
It influences future decisions, but it doesn't determine future outcomes.
Well, nothing can determine the future, right?
Right.
Well,
But it's the
exactly.
future.
I think that's the point. Yeah.
The whole idea
Future
is that
results. Yeah.
But it can
if
give you an idea of what's going to happen.
right,
Uh,
like if all of your
in
customers are
some
buying
cases.
green
Yeah.
shirts,
hmm
like you got to up the production of green shirts for the
It's kind
future.
of like if your
It's
your data says 6'7" is like producing all this attention, and then you're like, oh, I'll just make a 6'7" t-shirt, and you sell no t-shirts,
yeah,
but you
it's
follow the data.
also like watching an episode of the original Star Trek series, right?
hmm
And every time they introduce a new character, you know, one, they're wearing a red shirt. So they're either going to die or something is going to happen to them
Oh
in the
yeah.
episode.
Yep.
Mm.
That's just the red shirt. Hey, I'm new
Interesting.
for this episode. And you're like,
Dead.
they're dead.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I'll need to rewatch that Star Trek to find that out. It's funny.
That's only I think that's mainly in the original series with Kirk.
Uh,
I had
I
an
lo-
interesting thought. If AI got to a point where it was statistically more likely to be right than wrong, would there be a need for the stock market?
I
No,
mean, people are using it all the time to
I
predict the
don't
stock
think
market.
I don't think there would be a if you're talking about when we hit this age of artificial intelligence
Hmm.
and everything is common to everyone, I don't think we will have a
Well,
stock
I
market.
mean, the whole point of stock is that if a company wants to give value, ownership to
Mhm.
others, they can purchase that ownership. And as the company does better, the ownership value increases. So, AI predicting what companies will do better or worse, I
It can
think
already it
it,
already does all
it
that.
kind of,
But
I
it's the
mean,
emotion of people investing which moves it around. And
yes.
people are using these bots against these people on their emotions.
And whether or not
Mm.
the value of the company is actually increased or not.
Well, no, they'll have that hard data of, oh, the value increased because they had these earnings, but just because the company has good earnings doesn't mean the price is going up.
Yeah. Do you think
You know,
AI will get to a point where, hey, you know, Nike just sold like a all of their
like
inventory?
inside information, you mean?
Yeah, be able to
Um,
predict based off of like
I
social
try to use it
cues.
for that. Yeah, I try to use it for that. But if it's early information for me, it's early information for everybody.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yep,
It's like having a, a super researcher that can go anywhere you want, but you still need to ask it the question.
the right question.
Yeah. hmm
Prompt engineering.
and
Well, I mean,
everybody has info. Yeah. So
so if you go into that kind of future per se, and every people would have everything in common. Like you wouldn't have anything up on anyone else at that point.
yeah, but everybody has different interests. So one person will go down this rabbit hole, the other person go down that rabbit hole.
Exactly.
And so they'll know everything about something where the other person will know just something totally different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's get back to today's topic: software as a service. Um, do any of you two know approximately how much that costs? Because I don't. I'm going to admit I'm not as
Soft
familiar.
like how much it costs to run a software company?
No. To like hire out software as a service. Well,
Oh,
yeah, to
like
hire a SaaS company for your
SaaS
internal.
company?
to
Oh,
Yeah,
hire a
I
for your.
just
SaaS
think of it
company or to
I think of
hire
it as like a service like Netflix. That's my
Well,
SaaS.
I'm more of the thinking of like along. You're a small business. You need bookkeeping. You need, you know,
So like
sales
QuickBooks,
tracker, Salesforce. What is that?
But you're
QuickBooks.
you're you're asking me in the
Yeah.
context of small business and no money. So I'm gonna invent everything I can on my
Well,
own.
and that's what I was thinking. It's like, why would you pay a monthly service for those things
I
when you
think
could make AI do it?
like a something that you'd pay for that I would pay for is like a video editor. That'd be a very complex thing to build with uh,
So,
you
like
know,
social media marketing,
or like
Canva or
try
something like that.
yeah. Um I feel like you could build something that would work, but it would not accomplish what the level of quality and speed and everything that a established
I
um
actually I actually
product
watched
would.
a YouTube video of a guy who was like, "This is so expensive. I'm gonna just make my own with AI," right? And he's trying to make
Hmm.
himself a full fledged video editor, like to the caliber of DaVinci Resolve or Adobe Premiere. Um,
Hmm.
he went at it for days, and eventually he's just like, "I can't do it.
I'll I'll pay
I can't
the
do it. I will
I'll pay the
pay."
$15 a month kind of thing. Yeah,
I
it's
feel
not that expensive
it comes back
for what you get.
to the tens of thousands of people who have used, DaVinci Resolve or, whatever software and
Mhm.
said, hey, this isn't working, this isn't working. And those like minor iterations over
Mhm.
period of years has
Yeah,
made the software what it is. You can't
yeah.
recreate that on the fly with
Plus,
today's AI.
it takes a lot of skill just to use it, let alone build it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Right?
get in
It's like
the
trying to
tool.
reinvent SolidWorks or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah.
They already have something. It's not the greatest. It's free CAD.
Mhm.
If you wanted to try it, don't try it.
Yeah, software you build it once and then you just copy and paste and everybody can have it. So what what are some SaaS companies that require more than just a copy paste software you can monetize? Like is there an element of customer service and expertise and support that these things offer? You know what I mean? That make them valuable beyond just a copy paste software.
Well, you guys know Photoshop, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And you know how Photoshop has this huge um, controlling interest in the creative market, and they basically manipulate it however they want, or they have historically. So they could be like, "Hey, you know what? It's Monday. The shares are down today. Let's increase the price of the subscription," and they do it, right? And
Mhm.
they raise
Mhm.
the price, and they've just been consecutively raising the price. They've taken the ability to buy software away,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I think
It's
that is
super
what
annoying.
exactly. It's super annoying, and I feel like this potentially has the ability to give the breath back to the customer, right? Instead of taking their breath away every single time, raising prices, this has the ability to give back. Actually, let the customer win for a change. Because right now it's all about the dollar, and how can
Mhm.
you make more of the dollar? And these services know that. Like take for example Netflix, huge software as a service. Well, it's more of like a service as a service. And they just recently bought for like I don't know $80 billion another studio. I think it was Warner Brothers, and they get so much with that acquisition.
Mhm.
So they've already raised the price. I mean, during COVID, they were raising the price like every other week. It felt like. And I think for top tier Netflix, it's $30, and now they just added so much to their uh, I guess, their streaming platform.
Yeah. Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
If they added so much, why does it feel like they have only like 10 shows that show up on my like recommended list?
I think that's their homepage. They've really made it weird. I think it's hard to
Yeah.
find stuff like more.
Well, the
Um,
reason is they're in the de facto controlling
what you watch.
minority now, right? And
Yeah,
they get to choose what is available and what is not.
yeah,
And the price is going up. Like you
yeah,
don't even need to like
and
imagine it going up. It's going up.
and they own the rights, to show these shows. So
Exactly.
another question I want to explore is with, you have some of these big companies that sort of run everything, these software services. So if the barrier to entry is lower, would you assume that maybe not a small business, but to run all their various features, but a business that is started to compete with these bigger services? So you have another version of maybe not Netflix, but maybe a movie editor so that you have options. And so if the market gets diluted with these tons of options, is that going to bring down the price of Adobe?
Oh, it has to. I mean, currently the market player against Adobe right now is Affinity.
Mhm,
Affinity just came into the market a few weeks ago at this point and said, "Hey, we've made great software in the past," and they have. I love it.
mhm.
They have Affinity Photo, Affinity Design, and Publisher, which are trying to be in design and Photoshop, and I think it's Publisher as well. And they're like, and guess what? With this new release, they came out with a new release. They're like, it's free. It's free,
Mhm.
and everybody's like, what? Free? Nothing's
So,
free.
yeah, how are they making money?
So the way they're making money is the Affinity brand, I believe, was bought by Canva,
Mhm.
and then they offer some AI features if you want to pay extra.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
But they're
that's
not going to take. So they say they're not going to take your data. They're not going to train their models on it, and et
mhm.
cetera, et cetera. Like Photoshop, in their recent terms of service, like they claim they can do anything with the stuff that you create inside of Photoshop. I mean, it's more legalese, but
Yeah. So, I'm seeing the trend with all of these things the AI can do is basically a wave of deflation, but the hardware to run everything is inflation. The GPUs to run it, the $5,000 GPUs and the RAM costs are going out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the more that these AI services, the farther you stretch what AI can do, the more the demand for hardware. So it's sort of an interesting future we're going to have, I think.
I have a question. It's a little off topic.
that's fine.
Um, Several times I don't know.
You got your campfire
If
behind you. Looks really cool
uh,
with
so,
your deep question.
hmm, I'm trying to think of how to say it. If AI is so hungry for data to train whatever
The puppies.
the puppies, that's right. Is there a business opportunity to generate that data to sell to the AI companies
So there's another thing that's even bigger than that is you can create synthetic data.
with AI? Feed
Yeah.
AI?
Yeah. Crazy, right? So the question is, will the synthetic data get better? And if that's true, then the need for real data is going down, or at
Yeah.
Well,
least
shouldn't
percentage
you
wise.
validate the data somehow?
How are you going to validate petabytes of data? You're going to hire 300
Oh,
million people to start
course, and
sorting
being all logical.
sort through the data. Like,
He's,
how would you
he's
validate that?
Phil, that's going to be a really big cookie for that one.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. Like, y- if AI consumed every single picture and every single written document in the entire world, would it be smart enough to be what we want it to be in the future?
See, I think that's the thing about
I don't know
AI,
about
or
this.
in the current, um, what is it, position it's at. It can't do what us humans can, which, an artist
Yes.
can go out and go, "Hey, I wanna paint a painting." AI would use all the paintings it's ever looked at in its resources to build a painting. But an artist can look outside at everything around them and make something totally unique in their own style, in their own way. And AI cannot do that
Correct.
in the current state it's in.
An artist can look at a bluebird and be like, "Hey, that gives me an idea of a skyscraper."
Yeah,
You
but
know?
Exactly.
you can do things like have the bird drive a helicopter flying over hot lava while there's sharks swimming in the hot lava.
And
I
AI
mean,
wouldn't really do that very well.
I'm
well,
sure
they can
you
do it
could
pretty
get
well
AI
now. Oh yeah, yes they
it
can.
can do it, but it's not the same. Like, it has to have already kind of existed. That exact picture will be different,
Mhm.
um, but you can influence and you can build AI art, which it's just a different process. And I feel that artists are a little too concerned about losing their jobs to AI, because now people can go generate art, or a picture or something, and they don't have to pay hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars for these photos.
Yeah,
People can get what they want just by going and saying, "Hey, I want a picture of this. I want it doing this." Now there are limitations, like it's censored, rightfully so, in my opinion.
right.
Um, and yeah, so they're worried about something they shouldn't be. Um, they
So yeah,
should be in it for. Is anybody in anything for anything but money?
that's
Because
what
if
I was
we're
just
all in
gonna
it for
say.
the money,
Why would you
what's the
not use
point of
AI
doing
art?
anything? Yeah,
Well,
exactly,
yeah, but yeah, what you're saying is if an artist wants to be an artist and be creative, there's nobody stopping them from doing that. But the
exactly.
problem is if you have a customer that wants art for their office building, and if you show them this artist artwork they spent 6 months on versus an AI generated thing, then they may pick the AI thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
Unless it's like a clay pot or something, right? But yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah, but
So,
AI could generate a 3D model of a clay pot, print it out, and then you could be like, "This is a clay pot."
but AI in its current state, you can't give it a picture
Yeah,
of like a 3D image, or,
right.
"Hey, here's a mouse. What's on the other side?"
I think that's coming. I think
Oh, it's
for
coming.
instance, when you 3D model plans to build a skyscraper that are accurate and then technical,
Mhm.
that's why you're going to need all this massive compute because that's coming for sure. That's coming. It's going to go beyond AI slop to like make me a CAD drawing of a this part for a car. You know, so
Maybe that'll be Minecraft too.
yeah,
It'll just be like, procedurally generated on the fly using AI to like or like
yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 6.
So yeah, AI AI getting into the physical world is not here yet, but it's coming, I think. Robotics and physical products and things, yeah.
Um, Interesting. So, I mean, we've talked a lot about AI on this channel, and it's kind of becoming a very useful tool in a like the personal life of everyone and in the business world. But yet, there's still a lot of people who don't like it.
Mhm.
And I want to kind of dive into that at some point. Why? What is like? I don't know. I'm truly asking. Like anybody watching this podcast, please like let us know if you why you hate it so much. Is it because it's
Yeah.
taking over jobs? Is it taking over your job? Is it,
Mhm.
what are the real reasons? Or is it just a bunch of hype? Something that you don't understand. It's like Drew's analogy with the Model T in the mud. The guy who grew up riding a horse is very comfortable with the horse, knows exactly how the horse behaves, you know,
Mhm.
has this relationship, and all of a sudden that's threatened. I could easily see why he would hate the Model T Ford, or or whatever. So we want to know your guys' thoughts on that. We want to know how AI has affected your life, your business life, your whatever. Um, so, anyways, does let me we're about 8 minutes till the hour. Does AI return software ownership to a small business?
I think it has the potential to.
The
Um,
option. Mhm.
And does that empower the small business? The
I
small
would say
So
business owner.
it removes the barrier to entry. A product they would have had to pay for, they at least have a path to go forward. Even if it's hard, it's not like they're blocked. It unblocks them from moving
Yes.
forward,
Yes.
which
AI
is
back in
huge.
the day when we were doing,
Past
the recycling business or whatever. We could have asked
Yeah,
AI, like, where do we get these types of things? Where do, boom, boom, boom. And it's a huge learning tool, right? For a
yeah.
small business owner to learn.
Or for my case, to build any sort of software, to do anything. Even
Yeah.
just the basic widgets that I would never have before AI.
Yeah.
They're huge. They're helpful. Yeah.
well, I think it's kind of freeing in a way because before you had to know if you wanted to do something on a computer and it was super technical, but you had this idea, you had to
Hmm.
go and you had to get in the operating system, you had to get in the code, you had to learn how everything worked together.
Not
I
only that, you had to actually build the environment before you could even start
Yeah.
coding.
yeah.
Like
Like
you'd have to
oh,
get all the right software, all the right tools, all the right dependencies, and everything
Mhm.
all lined up
the
just
the
right.
best example I can think of, particularly for small business, that this AI just blasts out of the water is a website.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah.
you just go build it super quickly. And those are like the simple things, but now you can
Yeah.
do more of the complicated things that
Right.
most people wouldn't want to do. Like, for example, I'm crazy sometimes and I like to do insane projects for absolutely no reason. I was
Hmm.
showing Drew and Phil this earlier, actually,
Yeah.
but I had the idea of, hey, I like to, code and get things done, but I also like to have videos in the background. But if a video is too high resolution or easy to like get super distracted by, then I'm not going to be doing what I was trying to do, which is focus on my other task. I just kind of want the background noise and I want something there. So what I did is I put together this ridiculous idea of, hey, what if I could watch a movie and each of the frames that's generated is generated in braille, right? And so different parts are different colors depending on where it would be. So I open up one of the AI chats and I sat there for a good several hours and I sat there and I learned how one a terminal works, what is possible, what is not possible in the current iterations of terminals, and I came to the conclusion, all right, cool. I need to build my own protocol. I need to build my own terminal and then I can build the thing that I want, right?
Yeah.
So I did that and now I have this ridiculous tool, and my friends come over and they're like, "What? Why? What is this?"
Yeah. Just think of how many questions you asked that you had like instant answers. There was
Yeah.
no Google it and scroll through 20 pages and then you might get breadcrumbs and even the wrong answer. It's just you could iterate just quickly.
That's the thing is like so the difference between a vibe coder and someone who's actually thinking about, the full sources. Yes, the AI will say something and
Mhm.
I'll read it and it'll be like, huh, is that really the case? And sometimes I'll fact check it. And then I
Yeah,
go learn, and either sometimes it's wrong. And then I go back to it. I'm like, okay, that's actually incorrect. I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
And then other
yeah,
times it creates this illumination of something I never knew about or never
right.
understood. And then I just go and I spend time learning how that works to better
Yeah.
understand it.
And that's exactly how I do it. I feed it what I want and just say go 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 until it works. And when it works, if it's what I want, then I try to reverse engineer and
Mhm.
understand how I got there. But along the way, I don't have your ability to say it wants to do this path. I just say yes, where you might say, "Oh, I don't know, maybe we should try the better method."
I like to fight my chatbot a little bit.
Right?
I don't just say,
I
okay, it's
trust it.
right. I
It's
don't
fine.
fully trust
I
it.
am the puppy in that
I
situation.
don't think I ever will fully trust it. Um, but this is actually fascinating because there was a study, and there's a school in Texas that I just learned about, and they give kids 2 hours of study time with an AI agent, right, in the classroom. And now those students are among the top 1% in the country, which
Hmm.
is fascinating because now it's teaching people in a way that's unique to that person.
Yeah.
And so those people are able to learn. You don't just have a teacher in front of the class. This is very dystopian, but you don't
Yeah.
have a teacher in front of a class
Yeah.
as much. The teacher's there to moderate, right? In the
Yeah.
current uh, version that they're
Mhm.
piloting, they're moderating. They're there for like emotional support, or if
Mhm.
they want to ask questions, they have a teacher there for that. But it seems like we're slowly moving into this world where you just ask a computer how it does, and then you just start diving in with the computer how it works.
Right.
And you no longer have to go to Stack Overflow and ask a question, and they go, "Well, you already asked that question, or this question was asked
Yeah.
15 years in the past. Why didn't you find it then?"
Yes, yes, yes.
Not that I have personal experience
Yeah, that's
asking
what I was gonna say.
questions on Stack Overflow and getting yelled at, and then I go, "Why is everybody so hostile here? I don't care if the question has been asked. It's hard to find."
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly how that is. It's actually that way fixing like, when I fix my motorcycle, I run into that kinda stuff. Yeah, and sometimes you see a rabbit hole of responses that lead to nowhere. So you spend all this energy looking through all this stuff, and
Uh-huh.
you even try their method and it's wrong, and you figure out why it's wrong, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Like a path to nowhere sometimes.
So it's like AI is no worse than the internet, honestly.
Yeah,
It's no worse than going to Google and going, "How do I do this?" And then you find 15 different ways to do it, and you try all 15. Eventually, you find the one. And now with, the agents, you can just go, "Do this," and then you can iterate 15 times really quickly and then
right.
get it done
Yep.
faster than you can search the web.
Well, we've hit the 1 hour mark on this episode of the podcast. So let's move into final thoughts and conclusions of our discussion today. I don't know. Will service or software as a service die out completely? I don't think so. I think they will evolve to include AI as an additional service, and maybe if small companies or medium-sized companies start developing their own in-house solutions, they may get cheaper. Um, but I think the value of a software as a service is in hosting, removing complexity, security, and somebody to talk to. As a small business owner, I just want stuff to work. I don't want to have to spend the time to troubleshoot my own crappy software.
That's fair.
What
Um,
about you, Drew?
have you guys seen the movie Wally?
Mm,
Love that movie.
So I think that's where we're headed. And I think what we're talking about now is like, oh, I used to, blacksmith my shovel to till my field that I have to plant manually, and the ox will make it easier to plant my crop. Where in the future, I think all of this stuff will be taken by a sort of the master AI that runs it all. So I think that's where the path eventually leads, as people, especially as people depend on AI to do everything. And so we'll sort of be on our little scooters, sitting back, watching our social media, eating our popcorn, and drinking our Slurpee. That's where it could lead. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
And when it breaks, we all die because
Yep.
we'll be sitting next to the AI servers that are orbiting the Earth in our space station, where our bones have separated and we're big blobs because the Earth has turned into a wasteland.
What are you talking about, Drew? I'm already starting to separate.
The data centers took over the earth and they took the
Yeah.
water.
We'll be,
Whoa,
That's
whoa, no,
exactly what
wait,
happened.
wait. No, they're talking about
we need to rewatch
sending.
Wally.
Listen, they're sending the data centers to space, right? So
Right.
then, if Earth then becomes to like waste planet, then the people have to go live on the data centers.
Yes.
That's
Or
why those
next to
ships were
them.
so big, was
Oh my gosh.
because they had so much computing. Yeah, yeah. You get me, right? What are your
That's
final
right.
thoughts,
Disney
Horses?
has the future, apparently.
Uh, so I would say software as a service isn't going away. I will say it has to change, because now they have to compete with uh, people who go, I can do that. And a lot of
Yeah.
people who go, I
Hmm.
can do that, find a way. If
Hmm.
there's a will, there's a way. And I don't think we're going to get to this post-apocalyptic world that everybody's describing in the media or anything. I'm quite hopeful. I think it's going to be more of like we'll skip past the terrible parts in the Star Trek universe and just be in prosperity. Um, yes, I like Star Trek. Okay, just get over it. Get over it now.
I think there's too much greed in the world.
Yeah, there's way
How is
too much.
that going to impact money with AI and this abundance and this deflation thing? Like,
The only way
do
that
humans get replaced and like killed
I
off,
think
or
that's a
like
topic. I
what's
think
going to
that's a
happen?
topic for another day.
Yeah,
the
this
only
is the
way
teaser.
prosperity would ever work on a global scale is if everyone did away with tradition and
Which
cultural
won't happen.
differences,
Which
which
won't
will
happen.
never happen.
No,
No,
to
no.
make humans humans.
You'd have to break the planet first,
Yeah,
which is
alien
exactly
invasion.
well, no, but
Yep,
That's the
it's
plan.
that's the plan.
aliens, please invade. I'm sure
The
they come to
asteroid's
our
on its
planet and they
way.
go, no, no, I don't want to invade. They're
Well,
too
I
greedy
mean,
down there.
that's what that spaceship is flying through. What do they call it?
Yeah, the Atlas
The
something. Yeah.
Atlas, like
Oh
whatever.
yeah, it's
They're
coming.
just spying on us right now, trying to.
Oh yeah.
Where's my tinfoil?
We gotta do. Okay, we need to all wear our tinfoil hats and have a tinfoil episode.
Well, yeah, we
Oh,
should totally do that.
conspiracy
We're
episode.
totally gonna do that.
You guys need
We
to
need to.
spam in the chat
What
tinfoil episode
conspiracy?
if you want to see one.
Yeah, we're
A
gonna do a tinfoil one.
tinfoil episode.
All right, with that, I think we're gonna call it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed any part of this, please comment. We don't care if you subscribe or like. I mean, it'd be
I
nice,
care.
but I'm more
Please
interested
do if
in
you
the
want to hear us
interaction.
more.
Okay, I want people to interact with us so that we can bring that into our discussions so it's not just us blabbing on about whatever
Yeah. They'll
biased
send their
opinions that
bots
we
and
have.
we'll feel happy. Don't worry.
Phil, but Phil, that's what a podcast is.